I'm back with the first traditional knife video on what feels like forever. The knife that I'm going to show you today is related to this one, and I've kind of gone back and forth since the conception drawings of the knife I'm going to show you that this knife, for all intents and purposes, is pretty much the same exact knife as the one I'm going to show you. Now, most people disagree, but I just don't think the difference is that significant, other than a few cosmetic differences and one actual physical difference in the knife, but we'll get into that later on. The knife I'm going to show you is the 44 Autumn Gold Jig Bone with satin blade. This was a special option from Mike Latham at Collector Knives, excuse me, and this is the Buffalo Jack, 44 Buffalo Jack. So let's open it up. I didn't get a pin in this one. Some of them come with pins, some of them don't. Let's sit that to the side while I put this up real quick. And we'll sit this knife to the side. As you can see, this is also a Northfield finish. You can tell by the unexcelled here, it has lined or rat-tailed bolsters. You can see that they're brass bolsters, and there is a bullet shield here that's also brass. I don't remember what the caliber of this was, but it's not 45-70. I do know that. Let's take a look around the knife real quick. You can see it looks like the fit and finish is pretty good so far. I've heard good things about this run of knives. It looks like, let me see. Oh, that's a piece of something. You can see here the chamfering looks pretty good. That color looks good. The centering on the blades looks perfect. Termination of the back springs looks good. Let's see. Pretty decent pull. I'd say maybe a 5.5, 6. The transitions are flawless. You can't feel the brass bolsters. Very slightly you can feel the bolster there. You can't feel it, maybe just a hair here. No, you can't feel it here at all. I think what I'm feeling is that lettering. You can't feel it here at all. Snap to half stop, snap closed. That's excellent. Nice snap here. I'd say this is maybe a 6, 6.5 pull on this blade. Again, very flush back here. The transitions, maybe just a little bit right here. Smooth here as well. Maybe just a little bit up here on the top. But very smooth. You can see that Northfield stamp. You can see that satin finish on the blade. It does look like the tang might be a little bit polished, but the blade is definitely a satin finish. The swedge looks a little polished too, maybe. You can see that cut swedge here. Now, even though I did pick this knife up, I do prefer nail nicks and I do prefer machine swedges, but I like the satin finish, so I'm glad that that was an option. Decent snap. It's not exactly flush on the half, which I don't care about, but I know that's a question that some people ask. And a very good snap to the closed position on the main blade. You can see here, it's very slightly proud on the secondary blade as well. The secondary blade is in the front. Both of the pulls are on the same side. Again, nice snap. This hasn't been flushed or anything. This is straight out of the box. Let's check. Let me see. I don't know if I'll be able to show this on camera, but let's see if there are any gaps here. There are no visible gaps this way. Let me hold it up to the light real quick. No, I don't see any gaps between the spring and the liners themselves, nor the covers and the liner. So excellent fit and finish on this run, which, like I said, I had heard the fit and finish on this run was going to be really good. Let me close this up and I'll show you the two knives side by side. So you can see here, they're pretty close in length. They measure, at least on the website and at least on the mock-up, 3.5 closed for each of them. They feel like they're pretty much the same. You can see the difference comes in right here at the end. This one kind of goes in, this one flares out. So that's the main difference. But you can see the blades are oriented in the same way. The secondary pin blade is in front of the main blade. There is a nail nick on the pin blades, and there is a long pull on the main blades. Two very well built knives. The colors are pretty similar. I can't remember exactly what the color of this knife was. Interesting story about this knife. If you look, and I believe you can see it right there, this one is marked 02. If you go look up the 76 pattern on GEC's website, this is the actual knife in that picture for the model knife. So I actually happen to own the model knife from GEC, model or knife number 2 of the 76 run in this jig bone. So that's a pretty interesting thing. But this knife weighs a little bit more, I'm sure, because this is nickel silver, this is brass. I really don't have anything bad to say about this knife. This knife is very well put together. I have to agree with Mike Latham of Collector Knives when he looked at the Titty-Utes that came out, I think maybe about a month ago. He talked about how well put together these knives were, and that this was one of the highest quality knives he's seen come out of GEC in a while. I have to agree. This knife is just put together very, very well. No gaps, centered blades, the transitions from covers to bolsters, maybe one or two little spots that are barely noticeable. I mean, just a great blade. And this 3.5-inch blade is a nice size. And I know a lot of people, they said that they felt like this secondary blade was going to impact the handle itself. They said that, you know, you should be able to grab right up on that handle and then have that flare kind of fill out the rest of your hand. Honestly, and I've handled traditional knives for a while now. I know when I first got into two traditionals, I did not prefer two blades because of proud tangs and, you know, whatever. But honestly, if I just grab this knife, if I just put my hand on the knife, my hand falls right in between the kick, which is this part right here, and the tang of this blade. No hot spots, feels very comfortable. Honestly, for me, I'm gonna hold the knife like this 9 times out of 10 anyway, in a pinch grip, but or like this, cutting towards myself, which I know you commented on my video, I saw it, but yeah, didn't quite become an Eagle Scout, almost was, but trust me, I can operate the knife. Appreciate the input though. Definitely a great knife, easy to use, nice snap, just excellent build quality. Glad I picked one up, and like I said, even though this is the 44 and this is a 76, they are pretty similar. So I just wanted to show off the 44 gun stock today. Didn't get a pin like I said, but still a great knife. I appreciate you guys watching. Always remember, a lazy man carries a dull knife.